Let's see if we can find some ideas. Number 14. Let's get my shape. Oh no, that's not a shape. Just trying to make this look pretty. Oh, there we go. Animal Farm critiques the role of violence and fear in maintaining power. As usual, we're going to have our 3-step essay or 3-phase essay to write. Write an essay in which you describe 2 instances. So let me highlight each phase of the essay. Describe 2 instances where violence or fear is used to control the animals. For one of these instances, discuss how it affects the relationship between the pigs and the other animals. And finally, explore how one animal is characterized to be aggressive or take advantage of the aggressive power of other animals. I like this question. It's not very easy. It feels a little complicated. But we know enough about the pigs and about Napoleon and about these 9 dogs to answer this question. So the first step will be finding 2 instances where violence is used. Immediately, I can think of 2 or 3. Then we're going to pick one of these instances and discuss what affects the relationship between the pigs and the other animals. That part isn't so hard. And then we explore how one animal is characterized to be aggressive or take advantage of the aggressive power of other animals. That might be the hardest part for me. For the last part of the questions is usually something about a technique or device. In this case, the technique is characterization. How is one character portrayed in a particular way? How does the author give us an idea of a particular character? All right, let's think for a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll share our brain dumps, right? Our like plans. So we're not writing the essays, we're just writing the essay plans. Yeah.
For the first part, 2 instances where violence or fear is used to control the animals. One is in Squealer's speech when he was saying that Mr. Jones would come back if the pigs weren't in charge. And then another one where violence is used is when the pigs were whipping the animals. And then in the whipping instance, if I am remembering correctly, I think they became fearful or something like that. And then for the last part, Napoleon he uses the dogs to be aggressive.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And that could be fleshed out into a nice essay answering each part of this question.
The 2 instances where violence is used to control the animals, my choice was the removal of Snowball by the dogs. In doing so, the second one was the betrayal of Boxer. To answer the second part of the question, one of the instances, I said that the removal of Snowball was specifically done so that the relationship between the pigs and the other animals is that Napoleon would make sure nobody ever thinks about opposing him in any form or fashion, that he will use militant force to institute his power. The final part, explore how one animal is characterized to be aggressive. I still chose the dogs, how the dogs were used as part of the militant part of his army, his private militant, totally murderous part of his army, specifically designed for him to keep everybody else, all the other animals, in a continuous subdued, he's taken away their voice. And he would keep those dogs for the rest of his experience as being the ultimate ruler of Animal Farm. Thank you, sir.
Nice. Yeah. That makes sense.
The 2 instances I have when Napoleon uses the dogs to chase Snowball. The second instance is when Napoleon uses the dogs to kill the animals who were allegedly accomplices of Snowball. The instance that affects the relationship between the pigs and the other animals, or when Napoleon uses the dogs to kill the animals. This affected the more intelligent animals like Clover, making them a little more skeptical of the pigs. That's why some of the animals reject the commandments, and it affected the less intelligent, dull animals, making them more afraid and they just follow the orders of the pigs. Um, One animal characterized to be aggressive is Napoleon. He is characterized by being tactful. To support this is when he hid and trained the 9 dogs. This shows he is ruthless and cold because on the day of the elections, he just unleashed the dogs at Snowball to remove the competition, showing that he is also power hungry and wants total control and power.
Almost exactly what I have for my ideas for this. Let me share mine. I have for the 2 instances, I have the expulsion of Snowball as well as the forced confessions and murders of those animals who were said to have helped Snowball. And the second part, how it affects the relationship between the pigs and the other animals. It's the fear and intimidation cause the other animals to dread opposing the pigs. And so that widened the gap between the pigs and the other animals even more, because now it's very clear, if you oppose at the risk of dying. And for the last part, I have Napoleon taking advantage of the 9 dogs, training them and then using them to control the animals and to assert military might over his subjects. So yeah, I think we're all kind of in the same ballpark with the ideas. Pretty good. Good run.